Hey everyone, Nick from Nick's Crossing here, and welcome back to another Steam and Engine adventure here today at the Willians Grove Property Historical Engine Association. And guys, today is the fun, action-packed day for Steam, and that's Friday, August 29th, and today is a beautiful sunny day. It feels like a nice spring, fallish day. The trees are out, the sun's just shining through, not too hot out here, and today's the big Steam day, so they're doing the fun pools tonight. They're doing the big engine parade, and then also they're doing some Steam games later at the tractor pool area, which is to my right, about a couple hundred yards. And this beautiful property, guys, houses tons of Steam, small engines, and also lots of gas and diesel tractors. So we'll be walking the property today, get some great shots, and you can hear behind the camera, they're moving some of the traction engines out of the way to make some parking spaces. But this is a big show. This is the end of summer show, kind of like the final hurrah of summer, Labor Day weekend, and this is their 66th year, I believe, or 67th year. I'll have to correct that right here somewhere, and can't wait to film today. It's gonna be awesome, guys. So I hear them operating the Sawmill, hear all kinds of engine noise. So anyways, here we go, everyone, all aboard. All right, guys, so the property is huge. So over there, you can kind of see the pile of sawdust. That is the Sawmill demonstration area. In front of us, we have the steam engine boiler, they call it the Boiler House Museum, and Boiler Room Museum over there. So we'll check that out. And then right here, we have certain items that they can hook up to test the fury and power of the traction engines. I've seen some of the PTO hooked up from like diesel and gasoline tractors here too. And if we go around, you can see this is the steam traction engine pit, as I like to call it. Got some Peerless here, some cases. If you keep going around, just see all the traction and steam power for this weekend's steam adventure. Now, right in front of me is the Pleasant Valley Express. It's the steam bus, as I like to call it. And I'd love to ride that. We'll have to see. Like I said, no delays, welcome aboard. 4600. And then got some other Eclipses here. Pretty awesome here. And then this case just pulled out. Might be going up to get some water or coal. And behind that, we have some other engines we'll check out once the case moves out of the way. Alrighty, guys, so welcome to the traction engine steam pit, as I like to call it. Here is Peerless Row right here. A couple Peerlesses in here. Geyser Works. And I looked up information on Peerless. Their factory actually burned down. It's really sad. And it's like 1940 around there. Because I always like the look of Peerless, like the artwork on them, just the way they're designed. I think they're really cool. So I did some history look up on them on the interwebs and found that out a couple days ago. So really sad, and their tooling and such was bought by other companies before they went bankrupt. So there's another Peerless, smaller, much smaller Peerless. Pretty cool. Here's a case. We filmed this case the other night with, what was it? They were hooked up to one of the fans up here. White and Sun Company. It's got the Canadian and American flag. If you go over, here's a Frick Eclipse, Willians Grove, Pennsylvania. And this is the first row of traction engines for the 2025 show. And on the other side, we've got all kinds of goodies over there. Some I've seen before, some I haven't. And some maybe you guys have seen before on the channel. Another Eclipse. Here's a case. Love that green color on there. And then Case has that same eagle banner or stamp on their modern machinery. It's this eagle right at the front. You can see that on modern machinery of Case. There's another Eclipse. Indianapolis engine.
Gas. And there's a few diesels with their wide front end.
Then there's another Eclipse going down the line. Another Eclipse. Another case. God, it's beautiful. The red and green and the pinstriping. Absolutely beautiful. Here's another Frick Eclipse right here. Man, this Russell right here is probably one of my favorites because the stack on it has a very distinct sound. I've seen this engine run a bunch of times at shows. Sounds great, looks amazing. When we go further down, there's another Eclipse, and then there's another case. And these are all mostly fired up. They got some fire in them. It's not at operating pressure yet, but they got the fire in them getting ready. Now you can see there's a traction engine missing right here in this parking spot. It's probably out in the property. Then here's the other side of the Frick. Then behind me is another big old case with 4 whistles. Look at that, 4 whistles, guys. Got to make some noise, and there's probably a steam siren on there too. I can't see, but awesome, absolutely awesome. Now over at the Sawmill, which you guys will see in a few minutes, I already filmed over there. They got a 1916 case hooked up, operating the sled, the blade, the planer system, and also the dust retrieval system. So yeah, it's super quiet. Such a beautifully ran machine. The Sawmill sounds great, no binding, just sounds like a nice quiet machine. So pretty cool. All right guys, inside of the Sawmill, they got this old school sign. Willians Grove Historical Steam Engine Association, Inc. Keeping steam alive and interest growing since 1959, right there. And this is the Sawmill Expo over here and demonstration. So you got some other traction engines moving out. They're cutting, looks like shingles with the farm maul. On the other side, there's another saw hooked up to some type of engine on the ground. They're getting ready to hook up this case down here to a belt to get the big sawmill with the sled hooked up. They're operating the Sawmill demonstration. The sun finally came out. Beautiful day here at Willians Grove. And behind me is a 1916 case doing all kinds of work. It's actually cutting huge timbers into other size material at the Sawmill. They also have like a planer, and it's moving the sled back and forth. Really smooth operation here. And 1916 case doing all the work. There it goes. That is just so awesome, guys. So let's get some shots of this. We'll walk around the property and check out some other cool engines and steam action.
Or join for the first time. Membership is open.
Still going. It's the barrel train. You should do it. All right, guys, right here we have a very rare traction engine that is going to be restored and running hopefully very soon. And it's called a Greyhound. I was talking to one of the steam experts here on property. This is one of 3 left in existence. And the mechanism, all that was running. They were actually towing this at the tractor parade the other night. But it's such a cool piece. Can't wait to see this running. But one of 3 left in existence. Pretty spectacular. Yeah, I think he won, if it was a race.
Standing next to that blow off, it's loud.
Oh, good job, Derek. Good job. Next Ty, you want to come up? Get ready.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Larry, give us the whistle we're getting in.
Is he back for more? He's back for more. He's back. He's gonna lap him. Oh no, don't do that. No, he's gonna lap him.
This is a 1960. It's a Monroe Sports steam bus conversion. Travis Keats out of Mount Pleasant Mills, PA. And if you haven't seen this today, you haven't been here, because this thing is all over the place. It was at the polls last night. They put on, oh my, there's a dead person back here too. Wow. Two skeletons riding back here. I just they don't have a full crew tonight. Everybody's scared to ride them. Next we have a brick made Waynesboro, PA. This is called the Diver engine, owned by Barney Kimball, right here in Dillsburg. Looks like Matt Smelter's at the helm today. He does make some really good steam trips with that engine, I know that. I know firsthand. Next we have a case. got the extension rims on it, makes it look really wide. This case was made in Racine, Wisconsin. Yeah, this used to work for Silver Spring Township. They worked it on the road. Imagine the guys running that today on the road. I don't think it would work. And then this case, made by the Raiders family out of Mechanicsburg. Yeah, you're a little late, but you're in there. That's good. The Ferguson CO20 1949 Jim Wolf Boiling Spring. I'm sure he won't be the last feature tractor here today. Yes, next one is a homemade steam engine. Ties running today. Good job. Still a single cylinder. Led by the Franz family. The whole roof's on there tonight. Wow, even the little one. 1915 case out of Marion, PA. Takes to operate. Pastor, Ohio. Led by the Ford family out of Pastor, PA. And we have another brick. It's operated by Wyatt Baker. The 1913, 8.5 by 10. Oh, now ice is even on there. Wow. Haven't seen you all week. I guess you had to work, huh? Weeks later, they had her up and running. Fed by Jerry Lookaball out in Penrock, the 1920 Frick 60 order. And another Frick, this is a twin cylinder. Also a 60 order. The Bear family out of Gettysburg, PA. 1923. a 1917 brick. And they're from Evandale, PA. Now we have the Navy engine. Here's the Fearless. There's the name of the range for a long. And this is a double cylinder also. The 1913 2060. They're from Mechanicsburg. And he's going to Greyhound. Made by the Spanish Greyhound. And here's another little Fearless. That aggravated across the street to the front. 1960. Wow. And the dog, little LTA. Got shots, engine controls. Pump in the back gate. Right there, yep. And we have another Fearless. Emerson Ready Cam. This is noted by the association. Johnson Road up there. Well, you trust steering that you're operating the hand control. Alright, alright. Robinson and Larry Wilson have been taking these two engines all over the county. Well, they've been all over. That's a 30 horse case. 1912. That's the man that has all of these steam engines down here, all of them. And then we have Bromley Old Bull in 2035, made 1926. There's another Sawmill family out of Denver. And Carl gets to run his own engine. And I heard so many things about this wagon and this team, and I forgot half of what I'm supposed to say. I knew the wagon was sold in Davisburg. I think it was manufactured in Amixville. Yeah, that's still farm out of here this year. Really nice outfit. 2 horsepower, by the way. I'll get on to it. Up to this 2000 out to Bluefield, yeah. And a Gravely, 1966. Connie's operating out of Shermansdale. Scott Jones on 2019, John Deere. Millsburg. Page, 2008 comes in. I start out. And it's a little Alex Calvert carry-all.
Alrighty everyone, that's going to conclude this video of the Williams Grove Historic Steam and Engine Society's big show for the Labor Day weekend, well, up to Labor Day, and it's an all-week show, so there's all kinds of stuff going on throughout the week. A lot of people vacation up there, they camp up there, and it was just such an amazing time, and I learned so much about farm equipment, and the people, guys, were just so inviting and friendly. It's like a big family going up there to see all this equipment operate and such. Just an amazing experience all around. And I had a great time every day filming. Wasn't like going to work. You know, I would say it to my friends like, hey, I'm going to work to film. But honestly, it was just such an enjoyable experience. And everyone's just so friendly to talk about their machinery and how things work, how old things were. So it was great. Also had a chance to ride behind a traction engine for the first time in a long time. I think about a year or two. Rode behind a traction engine and blew the whistle. It's my first whistle pull. Then also, we had a chance to operate one of my buddy's tractors, which was a lot of fun. But anyways, guys, really quick, I wanted to explain some things. So first off, 643 was broken down for Saturday, so it did not run. I filmed that on Friday. I hope to get more footage of that, but unfortunately, the engine was out of service. And also, the tractor show was so long on Friday night, I didn't have enough footage space or memory space on my camera and batteries to film the whole show. So I did film that on Wednesday, and that video is up on my channel. So that's why I did not include the entire tractor parade in this video. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you're new, make sure to leave a like, a comment below, consider subscribing to the channel. But anyways, guys, happy railroading. We'll see you next time. Hope to get to more shows in the future. See you guys.